Alex Dies Trying wants to know what it's like switching between airplanes, how difficult it is. So in the Air Force, when you start out, the first thing you fly is just a small Cessna or Diamond. You just learn and get your private pilot's license. It takes about 40 hours. You get that done in a month or so. And then you move on to go to actual pilot training. In the span of about 12 to 18 months, you'll have flown at least 3 different airplanes, possibly more if you do any civilian flying in there. Once you learn the principles and the basics of aerodynamics, the fact that you're moving to a different airplane doesn't change all that much. The avionics change, the airframe changes, but it's kind of the same concept, right? You pull back on the stick and the houses get smaller. You push forward and they get bigger. You push forward on the throttle, you go faster. You pull back on the throttle, you go slower. When you get decent at that, it doesn't actually matter switching from a side stick to a center stick or back. It's very small adjustments that you don't even really consciously have to think about. So transitioning from one airplane to another is a much shortened timeline, 2 months or something to get through a transition program. Now, is it common in the Air Force? Well, I would say 10 or 20 years ago, it was not as common as it has been over the last 10 years. And that is because the Air Force is going through a transition. As we retire the A-10, as we build more F-35s, what you find is a lot more people who begin their career in one platform, say the F-16, and then transition to the F-35. Now, as the F-35 becomes the primary fighter of the Air Force for likely the next few decades, fewer people will probably transition. They'll start out, they'll go right into the F-35, and they'll likely fly that for their whole career. Then down the road, as we bring on the F-47, or whatever the future of fighter aviation looks like, you will see some people transition between platforms. That was a good question. If you have more like it, ask them in the comments.